Just a second. We'll be starting.
Mhm.
We are live. Welcome. Welcome to Medical Mondays with Dr. O. And hope in Maryland you are staying cool because we have that heat wave warning again today. And we're praying for our people in Kerr, Texas, who were hit with the storm, that the Lord be with them. And we pray that people will be found alive. Even now, it's still possible. So we're praying for the best to happen there and for God to be with them. We're back on Medical Mondays with Dr. O. And pardon my phone that is not on silence. I'm Dr. Toyin Opesami. I'm a family practitioner. I treat HIV and addictions also in Maryland, and I love to learn. Medical Mondays has provided the channel for me personally to learn and be able to share God-given knowledge that I have in different areas. Tonight, we have a very special topic. I can't wait for everyone to get into this and to see what we have tonight. It's really special, close to the heart, and it's the core of our roots. And we have a very special speaker, an amazing woman, and one who has contributed enormously to our communities because um, of her background. When I share background, you will understand. Mrs. Esther Paul is the CEO and co-founder of Afrotunes, an African animation startup producing engaging, educational, and culturally authentic content for children. She leverages her extensive background in project management, consulting, and education to lead multifaceted animation projects from conception to completion. Previously, Esther has spearheaded strategy for top companies including Twitter and Meta. She has also led implementation of multi-million dollar educational initiatives across sub-Saharan Africa. She currently serves as a senior director at an education foundation. She holds a BA in international relations from Boston University and a master's in international education policy from Harvard. She comes with a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure you all are now wondering, what's she going to tell us on Medical Mondays with Dr. O?
Mhm.
Well, stay tuned. Be ready for an amazing time. Without much ado, Esther, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. O, and good evening, everybody. It's really, really great to be here. Thank you for giving me the space to share a little bit more about the work that we're doing at AfroTunes. I'm sure you all are thinking, how on earth does this connect to Medical Mondays? But don't worry, we will get into it. Before I share more about AfroTunes, what we're doing, how this connects to the series, I want us to spend a little bit of time, maybe like 10, 15 seconds, to do some reflection. So I have two questions that I want you to reflect on, and they're on the screen here. And the questions are thinking back to your childhood. How did the stories you saw or didn't see in cartoons and animated films impact your sense of cultural identity and pride? And then what does this mean to you now for the next generation to see themselves vibrantly represented on the screen? So take a few seconds to think about the answer to this question. If you feel comfortable coming off mute, feel free to come off mute and share. If you want to write in the chat box, feel free to do that. And yeah, we'll see what people feel comfortable sharing. I'll just give it about 10, 15 seconds.
So the family is used to waiting till after presentation to raise their hands to ask questions or to put it in the chat box. So I don't know. We'll see if there are any.
Oh, someone has raised their hand. Morinike?
Hi, good evening. I think this is a really fascinating topic because I'm a children's book writer. And when I was growing up, I don't remember seeing any culturally relevant animated videos or anything like that. But in this present day, I'm obviously, I'm very excited about seeing how people represented in picture books and books that I write, and also in movies and in cartoons and in everything else. So that's why I was really excited when I saw this topic. I was curious to find out what you were going to talk about. So it's very, very relevant to the space that I am working in. So thank you so much for this.
Oh, thank you. And it's awesome that you are a children's book writer. I will definitely be connecting with you offline to learn more about your stories. Thank you for sharing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Madame Lara.
No, it's Nene.
Oh,
No,
okay,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Is it
Now,
true?
after Madame Lara,
Okay.
we are going to have you continue
Yeah.
the presentation. We usually wait till later. So, Sister Nene, go ahead. And then Madam VP will go after you. Go ahead.
I'm excited to listen to what you've got because last year I was a first grade teacher. I operate a lot of our fables when it is story time, especially when the kids come back after. And I taught them. I told them the story, then I taught them the song. You'll be shocked to see how Mexicans, white, and all of them were singing and singing with correct accent. And then I also taught them Hawaso Jake Kere, Hawa Kile, Akile,
Hey, Mate, yeah, what is it?
London.
Mate,
And then I also taught them
London, something
Ojo,
like
Ojo. So I'm going to
you're breaking up bad. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
I'm breaking.
Yeah, we can hear you again now.
Hello.
We can hear you again now.
Okay, I said I'm looking forward to hearing what you offer that I can use this year with my students. I've been asked to move up with my students, so I'll be teaching second grade this year, and I'm so excited. Uh, I'm looking forward to what you got.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Madam VP, Madam CEO, that's Madam VP at the.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. This is exciting. Yes, the first speaker did mention that there really wasn't, and I was a little bit apprehensive to even raise my hand. Uh, Curated culturally children's video, whatever, was non-existent.
Mm,
The only thing we had was on paper, and it was about what my other sister just mentioned about the dog and the tortoise, Mr. Tortoise, you know, how he swindled people. But we did watch some cartoons going up, but they were, Ring Tin Tin. I don't know how many people remember that about
yeah.
also sorry about the dog and some Lance Spearman, a lot of cartoon fiction and stuff, and some Indian stuff. But in terms of African curated stories, no, they were very, very limited, very, very limited. And there was nothing in cartoon at the time that I can remember. So we're glad that you're in this space. Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Ogunleye, you breaking the rule. Oh, yeah, on mute.
What rumor?
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, so I'm Yoruba by culture and language. And I just want to know, when you say culture, are you talking about Yoruba traditional culture, or are you talking about the modern uh, colonization impacted culture that we have now? Because
Wow, we're going deep.
yeah,
Fantastic. So
the
let me
reason
point
I'm
out here.
saying that is because a lot of people, even of my generation, don't know the real Yoruba culture anymore.
Mhm.
We were raised
It's
in a
only the way
colonized
the rest.
space, right? We were raised in a
Yeah.
colonized space. A lot of us can't even speak our language without diluting it.
Mhm.
So it's tough to say what's your cultural experience, da 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 da. You hear a lot of mixed cultural experiences that are not truly Yoruba.
Yeah.
For
So
example, the culture of greeting people and using ma and sa is
Mhm.
not our culture. It's English. And
Mm.
that was brought by the colonizers who were not titled in their country, but when they found themselves in the colonies, they saw themselves as kings of the colonies, and they wanted to be addressed as titled people, the way titled people were addressed back in England. You have to call me sir, and so
Mhm.
we started calling them sir, and our parents saw it as a form of respect, but it
Mhm.
was respect, a form of respect imported to us, right? And so they start insisting that we also use the term sir and ma with them and with those that senior us. But in Yoruba, no, we did not have that. We had when you're addressing somebody, you use a formal tone. You don't use o, which is the informal tone. So I want you to explain a little bit better what you meant by that culture.
Yeah,
okay,
that's a
no,
oh,
that is what, sorry, Medical Mondays, we would like you to present first. During the presentation, she will get what you're about. So the question you ask is legit, but let's leave it as it is now. Dr. Gulay, after the presentation, come back up and then see if your question was answered. You will see what this is about. In
All
the
right.
Okay,
okay.
but that excellent. Thank you for sharing that, because you know what? I did not even know that where
Yeah.
Lisa and Mark came from. That was deep. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very deep. Thank you. I learned a lot right there. And this actually ties in next to the problem that we're trying to solve here at Afro Tunes. So I just want to set the stage a little bit here so we can all understand some of the key issues that we face in the animation space. So Africa accounts for only 3% of the world's film and audio visuals industry. So in the whole world, it's only 3%. That means that there is a lot of stories that are yet to be told that can come from the continents. In a recent study where they analyzed different types of animated shows, they looked at 1,500 cartoons. And out of all of those cartoons, only 5.6% of them were coded as Black. 5.6%. And then going back to what you shared, Dr. Ronke, Africa is home to about 30% of the world's languages. Unfortunately, only 4% are used in formal education. So that means we're losing a lot of our language. So looking at the animation space, there is underrepresentation of African stories. There are very, very few characters that are Black, and our languages are quickly disappearing. And for all those reasons, this is why we created AfroTunes. So AfroTunes is an African animation startup. We're registered here in Ghana and the US, and our goal is to create authentic, educational, and entertaining animation that celebrates Africa's rich history and cultures. Our stories inspire curiosity, they empower, and most importantly, they foster global understanding. The image here of these characters is some of the characters we're developing for our upcoming series. I'm not going to touch on it now, but just to kind of show you some of our work here on the screen. So a little bit about me. I know Dr. O touched on it, but I am originally from Ghana. I am a mother of two daughters. I have a 3-year-old and a almost 1 year old. She'll be one in 2 weeks, actually. I started off my career in the development space and in education. I have a master's in education policy from Harvard and a BA in international relations from Boston University. I am a former middle school teacher. I know I can see their teachers here among us, so nice to be among teachers. A former management consultant, a current human rights advocate. I serve as a senior director at an education foundation, and most importantly, I am building AfroTunes. I am the CEO and co-founder. But I'm not doing this alone. There's a whole team of us that are working on AfroTunes, and this is our core team. And our expertise really range from we have animators on the team, visual development artists, writers, producers, directors, and we're all from different parts of Africa and also the Caribbean. So it's a pretty diverse team. So I'm sure you're all wondering now, okay, this is great, but how does AfroTunes connect with Medical Mondays? So before I share that in detail, I want to share two stories that really have impacted me in the last couple of years. So on the screen here, on my left side, you will see me with a girl. She is someone that I taught in middle school, in my middle school class, originally from a West African country, sorry. And she was one of my favorite students. And one day I remember it was lunchtime and she came up to me and she was really down. She was almost in tears. And I said to her, "What's wrong? What's happening?" And she looked at me and she said, "I wish my skin wasn't this dark. I wish my hair wasn't like this. I don't feel beautiful." And I was like, where is this coming from? Why do you think this way? And I didn't necessarily get a concrete answer from her, but I remember thinking to myself, wow, at 12 years old, you are already calling yourself ugly. You don't like yourself. And that really, really stuck with me. I didn't have a solution. I didn't necessarily have the right words for her, but I knew that there was something that I needed to do as an educator to try and fix this problem. Another story, this happened recently. My oldest daughter is 3. In this picture, she was about 2. And I remember one day I was doing her hair and she told me, Mama, that's what she calls me, Mama, I want hair like Morgan. And she did her hair like this. And I said, Morgan? And Morgan is this white blonde girl in her class. Um, and I told her, Oriela, you have beautiful hair. I love how your hair, we can do little puffs. You look so beautiful. And I really made sure that from now on, I am going to reinforce her beauty, her skin, everything about her. And not that I wasn't doing it before, but that moment was it was shocking to me as a mother because she was only 2 years old and she was already starting to recognize the difference between, how she looked and how other people looked. And that already was starting to impact her. So I say all of this to say that there is a correlation between the representation or lack of representation in media, and one's mental health. So there have been a lot of studies that have shown that the lack of representation in media can lead to negative psychological outcomes for those with identities that are underrepresented or negatively portrayed. There've been a lot of studies done to really understand more, the type of content that Black children watch and the effects that it has on them. And a lot of these effects are lower self-esteem and association with negative emotions with themselves and also the ethnic racial identity that they feel part of. Another study was done to show that, there's a correlation between lower mental health. People who have lower mental health sometimes is because of the stereotypes that they see represented of like their specific groups. So all in all to say is that when children are exposed to media that is not inclusive, that doesn't represent their cultures and their backgrounds, it can lead to a lot of mental health issues and negative emotions about who they are. So media representation shapes self-perception and mental health in different ways. So research shows that Black children exposed to mainly negative stereotypes were most likely to have lower self-esteem and anxiety. Broad studies of children's TV found that minorities were often cast in narrow roles. So they have very few lines. And what does this mean? It makes these children feel like they can never be heroes, right? It reinforces specific stereotypes and also leads to senses of exclusion. So exposure to representative stories in early childhood can improve mental health with benefits that last into adulthood. And these are some of the issues that we are tackling through AfroTunes. So culturally themed media can act as a preventative mental health intervention for African and African diaspora children. What it can do is it can reinforce identity and pride. It reduces intergenerational stress, and it offers positive role models. When I was preparing for this presentation, I knew all of this, but reading it again was very powerful, and it also made me even more driven. And, it reinforced my fire for this work because we cannot let our children to continue to grow up like this and face these types of challenges. So some of you may be thinking, well, maybe some of you don't have children, or maybe your children are grown and, haven't experienced this. But while cartoons may seem like it's for kids, their impact profoundly extends to the whole family and to the whole community. As a grandparent, a parent, if you have nieces or nephews, if you encourage cultural learning, that strengthens the children's mental health. So supporting initiatives like AfroTunes is actually an asset and a tool for building strong mental wellness. Um, so I'm going to pause there, and I see there's a hand raised. Sorry.
We usually leave the
Okay.
questions till the end of the presentation. Otherwise, you will not finish presenting.
Okay, no worries.
We always have questions, so a lot of it.
Yeah, so that is the correlation between, animation and mental health. And I want to say that there has been progress made, right? I'm sure some of you have watched some of these series that have come out just recently. In 2023, I believe this was the first time that Disney ever put out a show called Kizazi Moto, and it's based in different African countries. And most recently, I'm sure some of you have watched Iyanu on Cartoon Network. It's also a Nigerian series. And although this is exciting and these shows, hold a lot of promise, there is still a huge gap in the market. The problem is still needs to be tackled, and there's still so much that needs to be done. And so now I want to pivot and share with you a little bit more about AfroTunes and what we're doing specifically with our series called Selassie's Adventures. So Selassie's Adventures is a 2D animated series. It's for children between the ages of 4 to 7 years old, and each season has about 5 episodes. Each episode is 7 minutes long. And I have a video here. It's a little trailer that we put together that I would love to share with you. Did my screen change? I want to make sure it changed. Okay.
It did, yeah.
Awesome. And hopefully, let me know if you can hear the volume.
It's good. Volume is great.
Okay, great.
Discovering Africa's many splendors. With Ed.M singing and Uncle Kofi. The wonders never cease to grow. Selassie's journeys, let's all go. Selassie's adventures, let's all go together.
Hi, I'm Esther.
Okay, so that is our trailer that we worked really hard to put together. I want to.
Hi, I'm Esther.
Oops,
And
sorry.
I'm Emma. And
Okay, so I want to share a little bit more about the series and its impact. So the show is about an 8-year-old Ghanaian girl called Salasi and her family, and they go on adventures across the continent with their magical passports, exploring African cities, cultures, while needing to race home to find a special souvenir before sunrise. So in this series, the characters, sorry, will be traveling to different countries, and here are some of the countries that they will be going to in season one. We're still nailing down some of them, but they will obviously go to Nigeria, Lagos, because you cannot not go to Nigeria. They will go to Senegal. They will also be traveling to East Africa, to North Africa, and South Africa. So it kind of gives you a breadth of, different countries within the continent, different regions. So I want to share a little bit more about our main characters. So Selasi is the main character. She's 8 years old. She's bold. She loves going on adventures. Sometimes she rushes into things like that time when she tasted spicy suya and she didn't realize it was so spicy until later on. But she makes every adventure unforgettable with all her energy, her curiosity, and her boldness. Next, we have Ed.M, her little brother, who is full of energy and full of questions. Ed.M has a question about everything. Sometimes he gets a little distracted. He has a big imagination, but he turns every adventure into something fun. Then we have Uncle Kofi, their wise and loving uncle who loves learning about the continent. And sometimes he gets a little distracted when he takes them on adventures, but his curiosity and joy makes every single adventure fun. And finally, we have Ziggy the dog because, every great children's show needs a little animal. And Ziggy is playful and he just adds a twist to the story. So here are the characters in their bedroom when they're about to set off on one of the adventures with their uncle. And one thing that's special about this show is that there's music. So here are the artists that we worked with to record the theme song that you actually heard. We wrote the theme song and they recorded it. They're actually based in Kenya. So this was really a Pan-African collaboration, which was really exciting. And in each episode, we're integrating different types of music in it that reflect the instruments and the notes reflect the culture of that country. And I do want to talk about the impact of the series. So having strong characters that are, both female and male, them going on different types of adventures, learning, that all helps to foster positive self-identity in children. It also encourages empathy and understanding because, a lot of times as Africans, we call ourselves Africans, but there's different cultures within each country, right? So being able to understand and appreciate that is important. And finally, this show is a way to inspire children, inspire them to ask questions, to be curious, to learn more, to want to know about different cultures, specifically their own culture. So that's the impact of the series. And I think one thing that really makes this series special, actually two things, is one, it encourages travel within Africa. And that may sound very simple, but a lot of the times as African, I'm guilty of this myself. I want to travel to London or to Paris or to Mexico, but growing up, I rarely thought of traveling, within Kenya or Dakar or Nigeria, right? This is not something that was necessarily encouraged or seen as an exciting thing. We want to change that perception and really show Africa in a different way, in a vibrant way, in a positive way. But we also want to represent it as it is. So this image right here is an image in Dakar, Senegal, of the Renaissance statue. And one thing that's important for us is to show Africa as it is today. And a lot of shows these days, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just something that I've noticed. we're all trying to reimagine Africa, something it could be, like Wakanda. And it's great, right? And we're actually even developing shows like that as well. But there's something beautiful in just depicting it as it is, so that people can also feel that connection and be proud of what they have. Um, so that is a little bit about our show. So how you can support us. So over the past month and a half, we have been trying to raise more awareness on our work and also trying to raise funds to produce season one. And we have already raised enough for an episode and a half, but we're still fundraising. So if this is something that you are interested in, feel free to back our campaign. Dr. O has the link. But even if you're not in the space to support, even just by sharing our link with people who you think would be interested, that would be very, very helpful. Another thing that you can do is check out our website and follow us on social media as we continue to build the brand and share our content. We would love to get feedback on what you think on our content. And lastly, connecting us with industry professionals, supporters, anybody that you think would care about this type of work that has questions that would love to support or partner with us. We would love to hear from them. My email is there. You can reach out to me, and I will make sure that Dr. O also has it at the end of this session. So that is a little bit about us and what we're doing and why this is so important. I will pause because I'm sure there are lots of questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I mean, succinct but deep presentation. Thank you for bringing awareness to our children, our grandchildren of the beautiful culture we have. This is important. I have a story too, but I'm going to call on Madam CEO. Kindly unmute.
Thank you, Dr. O.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another fantastic presentation. I don't know where you get this connectivity, but God will continue to strengthen you and
Amen.
uphold you.
Amen. Thank
So, Selassie, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank
My
you. Thank you.
my comment though is that because this is targeted at children, in your presentation there was, and please pardon me, I'm trying to say this in the most gentle way. In your presentation, there were a lot of emphasis about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is children's thing, is probably most of a stigma. The self-esteem, you have connected the dot. People with high self-esteem of themselves will do better mentally. People with low self-esteem of themselves can slippery slope into mental health issue. But if it's possible that you can amplify more about self-esteem, it be more I think it'd be more acceptable and attractive to people than the use of the word mental health, because this is a children's space. It's just an observation. You are the creator, but that's the only thing I have. Otherwise, everything is fantastic.
Thank
And
you.
now
Thank you for that feedback.
you're welcome.
Thank you. So, in that presentation, was there mention of mental health in there in the cartoons?
In the cartoon itself, no, but in the slides before, I did use the word mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because
that's a good
cartoons,
catch. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, you also have been nominated or featured because of this. Can you share that with us?
Yes, so last month, the Embassy of France in Ghana does a lot of work supporting African creatives, and they selected five Ghanaian studios to sponsor to travel to Annecy at this really big animation festival that happens every year in Annecy, France. And we were one of the five studios selected based on our work on Selassie's Adventures. So they flew us to France and we got to present our work to different industry professionals, share more about what we're doing. And it was just a really inspiring event. And it gave us a chance to network and to practice how to also pitch our content in the media space. So that was what we did.
Fantastic. And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So we need assistance to move this work forward. It is important. I totally understand this space and what it does to our children, sometimes even adults, when there is no exposure to their own culture. I remembered my children went to, private schools, and they were in all Caucasian schools, and one of them in particular just felt, why was his skin black? Why
Mm.
can't it be white like the other kids? And it took a lot of work. It took counseling. It took taking him back to creation to help him understand that we are all created equally and we all beautiful, whether you're white, black, brown, whatever, that we are beautiful. And the beauty of the whole world is that diversity. It took work, but thank God we got it done. But for some, it may not get done. So this is very important that we support and make sure that it becomes the staple, the standard for our children, our grandchildren, great grandchildren to come. So kindly support the best you can. If you please take this down for a minute, I have already scanned it, but this in Indigo is still kicking my behind with wanting me to accept the cookies or whatever he wants to accept. I'm not accepting. But if you pull that down, I can the screen. Kindly pull your screen down.
Oh,
Yeah,
put it down, remove
yeah,
it.
it's
Oh,
me. So if you have any questions in the audience, kindly uh, raise your hand or put it in the chat box.
okay. As we wait on questions, one thing I did want to say, and this is connected to the question that Dr. Ronke asked at the beginning, around the culture piece. So one thing that we are very, very aware of is the fact that, we are writing about different African cultures, and we may not necessarily be from that culture, right? I'm from Ghana. And we're going to have an episode on Kenya and Senegal and Dakar. And even though I have been to some of those places before, it does not make me an authority on writing on those places. So one of the things that we're doing is we're partnering with specific cultural experts to support us in the journey so that we are making sure that we are accurately representing the culture. And we're also doing that from an arts perspective as well, making sure that we have an arts director from that country so that as we're developing, the different backgrounds and the characters, that we're getting authentic feedback from someone who is actually from that culture and who can help us navigate, drawing and representing that culture. And some of the things that we're also going to do is visit those countries ourselves. Luckily, in our team, a lot of us are well traveled, but there's still some places that we have not been to. So we want to make sure that, we are basically doing our homework and not putting on the screen something that doesn't represent someone else's culture just because we're African. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you look in the chat box, I've, posted the links to support the campaign link, the Zelle, if you want to use Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, anything that works for you, it's in the chat box. Dr. Izugu, kindly unmute and ask your question.
Thank you. Esther, thank you so much for that presentation. Appreciate you. I have a couple of comments on that, and then this idea of our kids knowing who they are, their skin, their hair, and all that. All of us as we raise our children, by the time they are 2 years old, we usually ask them, name your past, your head, your neck, your ear. We do that. It's really important we ask them, first you're going to ask them, who are you? And also
Mm.
teach them who they are. And then ask them, what are the benefits of your hair? Okay? You tell them why this hair, the benefits at that age, before even they get to the school. Because they have to know who they are, the value of this their hair, the value of this their skin over any other skin before they get to school. So they will become the person educating anybody, telling them something about their skin, rather than even being ashamed of.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we teach them that, nobody's gonna take that knowledge from that child, that basic time in their mind. Nobody's gonna take that away because what you're gonna tell them is the truth about who they are and what they represent. Now, the part about aid, traveling within African countries are extremely important. We are
Mm.
one of those that believe that traveling is a major part of education, that we make time, make budget, carry the kids, travel everywhere we go. And going to African countries is so educational, and even going to Soweto towns, going to places where things have happened so that they know is very, very important. So that this particular aspect of what you're doing is very, very important. I appreciate you. Just want to make that comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Izugo. Mr. Orj, kindly unmute. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. O, thank you for recognizing my raised hand. And Dr. Esther, it's such a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I understand you hail from California, is that correct?
No, I'm from Ghana.
Oh, okay. And you're presenting from Ghana?
No, I'm presenting from Washington, D.C.
Gotcha.
Okay, she lives in Washington, D.C. It's
Yeah.
Madam VP who is from California, and also
Oh,
Dr. Ogunleye who spoke earlier. She's
okay.
also, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I reason I raised that I was in California for 30 years when California San Jose was a mecca for engineers.
Mm.
But nonetheless, I see the impact of cartoons, just cartoons, period. I raised my family. Jordan is 34 now, and he went to school in the outskirts of Sacramento. And he came home one day and was shocked. He said he doesn't like Africa. He doesn't want to be identified with the continent because his teacher told him something sinister and dark about the continent. Yes, at an early age, I think it was 5 or 6. Yeah, he was still in kindergarten or first grade. And so it's very impactful. Personally, I never watched cartoons. I never even watched television until I was in my teens, maybe 18 or 19 in Lagos when I went from Port Harcourt to Lagos to go to school. So the television is another reality for me. It's a medium, and it does affect it affects our thinking, it affects our reasoning, even informs us in a lot of things. So there's a lot of a correlation, between what you're doing, especially for the younger folks, in this day and age, to identify themselves with, who they are, get to their roots. It does impact their well-being, their sense of security, their sense of self. So it is truly, truly important what you're doing. It's amazing, especially as it involves television, because that's a big medium. Some of our kids have been raised by television, even in school, even during babysitting. It's so easy to turn on the telly and just the kids, they tend to be captivated by the screen. So I appreciate your work, and I would like to. And by the way, I love Ghana.
Thank you.
So no better place to kickstart this project than Ghana. So I'd love to get further information to see how I could personally support your work.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much. I have the link posted there, and she's going to put her email address there also. If you please put your email address in the chat box, that would be fantastic.
Thank you.
But the link is there with various ways that um, you can support through rather. So Dr. Cap has been sending all these things to me by text message
Okay.
about geez, in the United States, Northern University Medicine study found that approximately 21.3% of a diverse group of participants, including Black individuals, reported using skin lightening agents.
Wow.
23.1%. Why would they be lightening their skin? Because they have not accepted themselves, have not accepted their color. Of those who use skin lightening agents, roughly 75% use them to treat skin conditions like acne and hyperpigmentation, while the remaining individuals use them solely for the purpose of lightening their skin. In Africa, a World Health Organization report indicated that over 40% of African women bleach their skin. That is staggering. Over 40%. Prevalence rates vary significantly by country, with Nigeria reporting the highest percentage at 77% of women using skin lightening products. Other African countries show varying percentages, such as Togo at 59%, South Africa at 35%, and Mali at 25%. Some estimations suggest that 25 to 80% of women in African countries regularly use skin whitening products. In Ghana, studies report prevalence ranging from 26.3% among young adults to 40.9% among female university students. Some data shows that 39 out of 100 Ghanaians are involved in skin bleaching. Reasons for skin bleaching in Ghana include enhancing beauty and healthy skin, boosting self-esteem, and treating skin disorders. This is right there in Africa, and we conscious of this because you can see some people who, when you see them, you can clearly know that they've been using bleaching agents that has actually even impaired, destroyed the skin to some extent, where the skin is not as smooth and all of that anymore. But what causes this? Low self-esteem, lack of acceptance of this beautiful black skin that God gave us that prevents us from having skin cancers, um, you know, as opposed to people with lighter skin. The melanin we have that, confers this black skin actually is protective. And you see a lot of people comment that black skin don't wrinkle. That's another positivity because of melanin. So, but if one is exposed all the time to other cultures and not one's culture, looking at it here, like you commented, a 2-year-old wanting straight hair and not the beautiful kinky African hair. Straight hair is beautiful. Kinky African hair is beautiful. It's, whatever we have, it's beautiful how we're made. And so thank you so much again for this enormous work that you're doing to just help us, especially our children, our grandchildren, to understand that they are beautifully and wonderfully made, just like anyone else. Thank you. This is fantastic. Now, question of Dr. Ogunleye, because I didn't forget. Do you want to now go back to it? And Dr. Ogunleye, any comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. And by the way, look behind Dr. Ogunleye's screen. You talked about suya in that cartoon.
Oh,
Remember?
yes, yes.
So let's say ate suya, did not realize how spicy suya is, correct? Dr. Boleye, a professor of education, herself retired, actually makes this suya that you can order from DC.
Oh,
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 yeah.
I will need to get your contact.
I ordered from Maryland. You order from, and it comes in fresh, the
Mm.
best. So yeah.
And my suya is one size fits all. It's
Yeah.
not as hot as the
Okay.
other regular suya, but I package the pepper separately in there. So if you want it hot, knock yourself out.
Mm. Love it.
It's
Okay.
perfect.
We'll
It's,
Thank
definitely
you.
be ordering.
you have to try it. Yeah.
So my observation, rather than a question, is that I have a daughter who just turned 30, and
Okay.
she did not consider herself beautiful in her own right until her late 20s, until Hollywood told her she was beautiful,
Hmm.
because she has short, kinky hair.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister's curls are a little bit looser, and she has long hair. So she always considered her sister as the beauty standard because her hair is long, and herself not so beautiful. So I hope that in the cartoon, children will see that no matter the length of your hair, you are beautiful.
Mm.
And this talk that Africans can't grow long hair, that is a farce. As a matter of fact, if you look at my hair, it's long all the way to my waist. It was it was short and damaged when I was in school trying to get that degree, that doctoral degree. The stress and everything uh, almost turned me bald until I decided to start making my own hair product. That was the first thing I did before I did the suya.
Mm.
I researched into what our hair needed to grow healthy and strong. And every research that I did, I call it research loosely, of course, because it's not peer reviewed or anything. It's just for my personal benefit. Every research that I conducted pointed me to one thing and one thing only, that what we need for our hair is in the food we eat.
Mm.
So everything that we eat, the oils in there is what we need for our skin and body, not chemicals. I have not used hair shampoo or conditioner in years. I use African black soap, Dudu Osun, for my hair and body. And I use my formulations, which consists of shea butter, coconut oil, tea tree oil, ingredients like that for
Mm-hmm.
my hair and my body. So, and because I wasn't stressing my hair combing it, and that's another thing that I need for African women with kinky hair to understand. When your hair is breaking combs, it means it's not supposed to be combed. It's supposed to be locked. Yes, we do have this concept of dada in Yoruba culture. Those are the kids that are born with their hair locking right from the get-go. And you cut their hair, it might impact their health actually.
Mm.
But even other than that, a lot of us that have the really, really tough kinky hair, rather than stressing our hair with hot combs and curl looseners and chemicals, what your hair is asking you to do is to leave it alone.
Mm.
Leave it alone, and you will see how long it will grow. Just lock it and leave it alone. Um, and a lot of the ingredients in the conditioners that we use and the shampoos that we use are not meant for black hair. They're not. Okay. The our Caucasian brothers and sisters, their body produces so much albumin, the oil in their skin, in their scalp. They produce so much that all they have to do is take out a brush and start brushing their hair, and it will start getting glossy.
Mm.
And because of that, they can go, if they go a week without shampooing their hair, it will matte
Yeah.
with oil. And it will start smelling like a like a chicken that's dunked in water. You know how chicken feathers, I don't know, I've cooked chicken from right from slaughter that I had to defeather myself. So when you pour that hot water on that chicken, the smell that comes out of it, sometimes that's the smell that comes out from matted and greasy hair.
Mm.
Okay, so, but we don't have that. We don't have a lot of that grease in our hair, right? So the shampoos and conditioners that was produced for them or that are being produced for them is to strip their skin and their hair of oil. Now, for you that don't have all that grease in your skin and your oil, and you start using the same shampoo and conditioner, your hair is already dry, and you're using something that will even strip it more of the natural oil, the small natural oil you produce, your hair's going to break. And a lot of times that is what is happening. Our hair is breaking because we're using products that are not meant for us. So I hope that will find its way into your cartoon.
It has to.
That's two. And three, when we do hairstyles or wear protective styles, we call them protective styles, wigs, weaves, and whatnot, and your head is itching bad, that is a telltale sign that you're allergic to whatever you're using. But we don't know that. We just we start hitting our head, scratching. And the more you scratch, the more you're destroying the root of your hair. So I hope that too will find its way into that cartoon. That those so-called synthetic or human, and then even if it's human, what human? What's the DNA of that human that you're carrying their DNA and putting on your own head? And in Yoruba culture, the concept of Ori is spiritual. It's so important. In fact, in Yoruba custom, you don't just let anyone touch your head. Your hairdresser has to be somebody you really know and trust. Originally in Yoruba culture, we don't even pay for hairstyle. And when I say pay, I mean we don't get charged because we believe that your head is so important that it's valueless. I mean, priceless, right? So when a hairdresser does your hair and they it's even a shameful thing for them to say, give me such and such amount of money. To you, the person, you're supposed to ask, oh, is that all my Ori is worth to you? So it's kind of like an insult, right? But what we do in Yoruba culture, when somebody does your hair, you give them a gift. The gift might be little, might be much, but you give them what comes out of your heart. And that is more appreciated than that's our old custom, not the modern one. Now everything is commercialized. You dare not go to a hairdresser and say, do my hair for whatever I can give you. You can't do that. But if we're teaching culture, I think we need to teach all of it. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you. That was
you.
very insightful.
Wow. Thank you. But before you leave, that hair product that
Yeah.
you came up with, is it on your website?
I have a separate website for it.
Can you please share your websites, please? The Suya one and the hair product one, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Share the websites in the chat box. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Always
you.
wealth of knowledge. And thank you because, look, both of you and the other teachers on the platform, you laid the foundation for all of us and then built us up. We appreciate you. Without you guys, we can't be here. So thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
all of you educators. So please put that in the chat box for us. Appreciate it. God bless you.
The chat is disabled.
Disabled, how?
That's what it says here. No.
Oh my gosh. Is that why I've not been seeing chats today? Let me see. Um, Dr.
Yeah,
Ade, I need help.
type something. And I saw it that it's
One.
able.
Okay, wait a minute. Can you try now? I don't know. That must be something new on Zoom. They're always doing something new. Can you try now?
I can chat
You
with
can
Now,
check
now it's good. Now
because
it's
you have
good.
told. Is it good now?
Yeah, because I've been trying to chat too, but
I am so sorry. I don't know how many people have been trying to chat. Zoom looked different today in the chat section, but I didn't know what it meant. Now I see everyone and anyone directly, everyone. So we can now chat each other. Sorry about that. I'm going to put everyone and anyone directly because if somebody wants to private chat somebody, I'm good. I'm sorry. So you can now chat. So our attorney, kindly unmute Attorney Tinu, or is that not you?
It's me, Dr. O. Good
Oh
evening,
yeah, unmute.
everyone.
Let's see your face. Oh,
Ah, tonight, no, because
okay,
I'm
okay, go
messy.
ahead.
I'm in the kitchen and all that. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Um, and I would have actually loved to show my hair. Thank you so much, Sister Esther and Dr. Ronke Ogunleye. You really hit a home run for a lot of things that you said tonight. So I just wanted to, when you were talking about your daughters, and it hit a spot for me. So that's why I said, let me share my own too. So basically, two things I wanted to say. First, just to appreciate all of you that have always been very consistent. You know me, I'm the best rant of all of you. So
I still have your award. I've not seen it. Is
well,
why.
it is well. So
Grant award.
uh, I know, appreciating all of you for your consistency. So um I wanted to add to the issue about helping, supporting, and making sure we speak our truth, to our children, and especially bringing them home to the culture. And Dr. Ogunleye says some things. But why I said that is because for me, when I was actually in my 20s, my hair is so thick and healthy and very jet black, very nice, long. So that when I got married and my daughter, I used to do her hair, she didn't have any perm, you know, and she used to, and then she was in first grade. She went to school. I don't want to say the name of the school. She was one of the few black girls, and her best friend back then, as little as 5 years old, she was like always coming home. Sometimes she'll be frowning, and Tolu, anyone who knows my daughter, I know Dr. O knows her very well. She's such a happy, bubbly, go lucky girl. But that thing always dug her. Number one, when she started that school, she has a friend who is a white girl. And of course, white, blonde, long hair she had. And Tolu was always coming home, Mom, why can't my hair be like that? Also, because I used to do her hair myself. And of course, I use hair piece, all those things, but I did it painstakingly. I actually used her to learn braiding and all those things that I would do for her. But I go to the hairdresser to do my hair. And but she was not a happy camper when she talks about hair. That's number one. Then when it took me a lot, to advise, to counsel, to let her, take her eyes off of this white girl, let her know who she is, why she's like that. She's black. I mean, reassurance in every way, every of my little ways. Even we have books because she was raised as a Yoruba, really. Her first language was Yoruba and all that. So, and we used to teach Yoruba every Saturday mornings. That's the first thing we do before we even do anything. And she was way into the culture, so it was easier. Not very easy, but at least it was easier for me or us to get her off of that tangent. Then she got that off. Then she now started looking at me, still comparing her hair with mine. Remember, I said I used to perm my hair and all that? Fast forward, when Tolu got to maybe middle school, almost through, and then high school, she now started. Oh my God. You, Dr. O knows her. She now started using all this natural shea butter. She will make, what do you call, avocado is what they call it here, pear. She will make mix aloe vera, whatever. She would tell my sister or my mom or dad, please send me black soap, honey, and all those things. Like, I just found I never told her because that's what I used to do when I was in college. Now, Tolu now grew her hair to the point that she is now not permy, kinky. If she wants to make it elongated, she knows what to do. But everything is so natural now that even for me that she's copying or envious of, I now wear natural because of her. And because my hair started cutting and breaking and everything. So, but why I'm bringing this issue up is that, yeah, we are here in America and we are surrounded by, I don't want to say foreigners because we are all foreigners, but people who are culturally different than us. But there's a way that we can help our children, to lead them, nudge them to a better direction. And especially because we say discipline and charity begins from home. So it starts with you. So whatever they see on you, they practice. And especially that bleaching part, if you're bleaching, you never know, they might try it too. And then their skins may be endangered even much more than yours. And the last thing I want to say is about herpes. Thank you, Dr. Gunde, for the advice about itching and all that. So I know that lately Africans, they are now into, I'm not going to say everybody, but there are up and coming companies that are now using banana leaves, processed it, and then generating sort of like hairpiece from it. I know when we went to Uganda, we went to those people who do stuff like that. And even in Nigeria, we're trying to partner with them. So this is biodegradable and it is also good for your skin because it's natural. It's like what we can put in our body because, of course, banana, plantain, all those things are supposed to be good for us. So that's all I wanted to tell you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And geez, I wish Tolu was on the platform. She's a full-fledged doctor now, medical doctor, doing, completing her OBGYN residency. And her hair is pure natural beauty. Natural. She has shared some things with me too. It always goes over my head what she uses. But amazing. But that took what the cartoons will do that our mother, who just spoke, successfully did. Not all our children were lucky or blessed to be able to be re-educated that all skins are beautiful, all hair are beautiful. You manage what you have, enjoy it, learn how to fix it and make it look good. And that's what the cartoons will do, correct? That's what I've watched so far. And I've watched a little bit more than the rest of you here. So Attorney Morenike said, thanks for your wonderful presentation, that she hopes there will be ways for both of you to collaborate in the future. And she has her information there, over there. Attorney Morenike, she has her email address. Esther has her email address also up there. And I'll keep copying and repasting so that you guys can connect. I'll repaste it.
Awesome. Thank you.
So Dr. Gunleye said, just want to correct her Oyinbo, her English, that she meant sebum, the natural oil produced by our skin, not albumin, the protein in egg white. Yeah, that's the albumin. So it's sebum, which is the natural oil produced by our skin. Thank you so much. These cartoons are, I don't know, I think, I'll say this is the time because believe it, we've needed it years ago to be able to identify, to be able to appreciate who we are and who the Lord has made us. Oris are beautiful, and blackberries is beautiful, just amazing. And so, again, kindly support so that we can get these cartoons out. It takes funding to do it. So, without much ado, I'm going to ask that you please give us your parting words because I don't see any questions. Fantastic. Thank you for reposting your email, Esther. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no
So,
problem.
kindly give us your parting words, unless there are any other questions. If there are, I'll throw it at you.
No problem. Well, I just want to say thank you, Dr. O, for inviting me to speak here. I know at first when you were like, "Come and speak on Medical Mondays," I said, "Oh, okay." But there is obviously a very strong correlation between, this work and mine. I wanted to thank everybody for their questions, their comments, and just giving me the space to share more about our work. We've been doing this for the past 4 years, and we're excited about the journey ahead. So thank you in advance for the support. We appreciate it. And look forward. Our show will come out soon. So please, follow us on social media so that you can receive all the news and you'll be able to access it and watch it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, till we meet again next week, please stay safe. And next week, oh, I have to say this. If you have students from even middle school, high school, those that are in college, please invite them all with their parents to come to Medical Mondays with Dr. O next week because we're bringing back Melissa Langley to come talk to us again about grants, getting scholarships, how your children can go through college for zero. She got $14 million for her daughter. Google it. This last year for college, before she got into college, $40 million. Somebody else is going to come share something that I just learned on this college journey. It's very important. The money is out there so that, and the students that deserve it should get it. So please tell everyone you know who has children, grandchildren, parents too should come because they're going to need to help their children along in the way. Okay? Thank you. Till we meet next week, please stay safe again.